आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नादयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Namaste. Wish you all a very happy Vaikuntha Ekadashi. It's a very, very auspicious day, and the topic that we are going to discuss is about Gajendra Moksham. Gajendra Moksham is very important because each one of us are expected to start the day thinking about this. There is something called as the Dinacharya, everyday routine. And the first thing we get up, what our ancestors have told us is to think of Gajendra Moksham. So we are now beginning where we exactly have to begin. Today, our routine has changed so much that the moment we get up, it's our mobile phones, right? So from hurry, we are actually hurrying in order to look at the mobile. So starting the day with Harinama Smaranam is what Gajendra Moksham is all about. So what is the link between Gajendra Moksham and Harinama Smaranam? What are such important things mentioned in the Gajendra Moksham that we should start the day with them? Because there are so many stories, so many events that has happened across yugas in Sanatana Dharma. The timeline which we speak about in Sanatana Dharma is very different from the existing timeline that we are familiar with. Today, if you ask anybody, which year are we in? Which is our year that we all are in now? 2022, right? 2023. We're going to fast approach 24. Now, if you ask the same question to our Maharishis, to Vedavyasa Maharshi, to Valmiki Maharshi, to Vyasa Maharshi, what do you think their answer will be? What is the current year? If we ask them that question, they will go on to mentioning a huge number. If you all have listened to the Sankalpa that they do, Adya Brahmanaha, they will start, right? Kali Yuge, Pratame Bhage, Jambudvipe, Bharat Gante, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakante, Kali Yuge, everything they will say, and they will explain which year, which month, which location, which day, which date, where are we now. Everything will come, it's like a calendar. So that is the date that is given by our ancestors, because the timeline that is passed by is huge. And this particular Gajendra Moksha Charitra has happened in the Krita Yuga. Krita Yuga is the first of the 4 yugas. We are now in the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga itself is supposed to be 432,000 years. Prior to that, we have the Dwapara Yuga, where Bhagavan Krishna's avatara happened. So that is supposed to be Kali Yuga times 2. 8,64,000 years was the duration of Dwapara Yuga. Prior to that, it was the Treta Yuga, where Bhagavan Rama had actually taken his avatara. Even before that, this particular episode of Gajendra Moksham is being mentioned. So it is so ancient. Still, till today, we are supposed to wake up with that thought in our mind. So that shows how important this particular Leela of Bhagavan is. So what is mentioned? Where exactly it is mentioned? It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavata Purana. The Ashtama Skanda, the 8th Skanda, explains about the beautiful episode of Gajendra Moksha. Who is Gajendra? Gajendra is an elephant. So are we going to discuss about an elephant story here? Yes and no, because Gajendra was earlier a big king. He was a Raja Rishi, a king who was very dispassionate about whatever work he did. He was not into any greed of acquiring wealth or anything. Whatever he did was a samarpana to Bhagavan. So we speak about the karma yogis, right? You do your duty, you don't expect anything in return. That was the attitude with which Indradyumna was performing all his activities. That he went and he started performing penance. He started doing the dhyana on Bhagavan. at that point of time, when we are focused into something, our attention is so deep that sometimes we don't even know what is happening around us, right? Even now when we are focusing on certain things, somebody right next to us is talking and we don't listen, they call us again and we're like, yeah, sorry, what did you say? So if Indradyumna Raja was contemplating so much on Bhagavan, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Shuchau Deshe Pratishtapya Sthiramasana Mashtaha Natyuchitam Natricham. And there he says, avoid thinking out Kimapi na chintaye. Don't think of anything else at that point of time. So like that, Indradyumna was meditative. He was contemplating on Bhagavan completely. At that point of time, his guru, Agastya Maharishi, along with many of his disciples, come there. I wouldn't say if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but Indradyumna was having his eyes open at that point of time. Though he was meditating, his eyes was open. Agastya Maharishi was standing there. This person is like looking at this without any reaction. Agastya Maharishi was shocked. I am his Acharya. He is just sitting like this. So many other Bhagavatas are there. When a Bhagavata comes, does he not know what he has to do? We are expected to behave like a danda. Danda is a stick. Dandavat praman, it's like when you keep a stick like this, the stick just falls like that, right? So dandavat pranam, we have to just fall at the feet of Bhagavatas as if an unsupported stick falls. That is the way we are supposed to offer our pranams. Instead of that, he's just sitting, he's staring. What kind of an ego is this? This looks like, a behavior of an elephant. So Agastya Maharishi curses Indradyumna. He says, for this behavior, you rather be an elephant. Why do you want to be a Raja Rishi? You're not even respecting your gurus or other disciples of the guru, other Bhagavatas, so you better be an elephant. Now, if we just take a step back, because there are a lot of learnings which go inside this. Instantly, given our background, I felt the same way. Why would Agastya Maharishi curse him like this? Is it right on part of the Agastya Maharishi? Things like that. Automatically these thoughts come to our mind. But if you look at the Bhagavata Purana, not one word of, saying his side is mentioned. Indradyumna does not even open his mouth at this point of time. He accepts whatever the shapa that was given by Agastya Maharishi. Why did this happen? Because at this point, our acharyas expect us to understand how a disciple should be. Indradyumna was a disciple of Agastya Maharishi. So this is a lesson for how a student should behave to a teacher, rather than is the teacher right or not. So we have to learn it from the right perspective. So here, Agastya Maharishi gave a shapa. Let's leave that part. From the part of Indradyumna, he could have revolted, he could have said, no, I was focusing on Bhagavan, how can that be a mistake, so on and so forth, right? But then, Sadhavu Dina Vatsalaha, it is mentioned. These sadhus, even if they curse, the consequence of the curse will be very, very auspicious. Sadhavu Dina Vatsalaha. So that kind of a sadhu is Agastya Maharishi, right? So Indradyumna now is cursed by Agastya Maharishi. But then the curse is to tell us that irrespective of how the Acharya behaves to you, accept it wholeheartedly. What if it's not my fault? Doesn't matter whose fault it is. Whatever they do, just accept it. Why should I be blamed wrongly? Bhagavan will take care of giving you whatever you deserve. So when an Acharya, an elder, a Bhagavata says something, just accept it. Even if it's not your fault, accept it wholeheartedly, saying that it's your fault. So for this, a beautiful example is mentioned from Srimad Ramayana by our Acharyas. The example is of Bhagavan's own younger brother, Bharata. Bharata had gone to his uncle's house along with Shatrugna. At that point of time, Rama was asked to go to the forest. Kaikeyi also asked the boon that Bharata has to rule. Because of this shock, Dasharatha expired. A lot of chaos is happening in Ayodhya. Everybody is starting to blame Bharata, he was not even aware of what has happened. He now returns from his uncle's house into Ayodhya. That is the scene. So everybody is now cursing Bharata. How can you be like this? Your mother asked because of you. A lot of those things are happening. Now Bharata hears everybody. He is now pouring out his heart to Shatrughna. Shatrughna is very close to Bharata, right? Bharata and Shatrughna, we usually tell it in one breath. Bharata, Shatrughna. So Bharata is telling to Shatrughna how everything has happened. When we went outside to our uncle's place from Ayodhya, the scene was totally different. When we are coming back, Ramanna is not here, he's gone to forest. Lakshmana, Sita Mata, everybody have gone. Father is not there anymore, he's gone to Swarga. Everybody is blaming me for I was not even aware of all this. So he thinks about it. Shatrughna gets really upset. Shatrughna says, everything is Appa's fault, it's our father's fault. Bharata says, no, don't blame the father for all this. It's not his fault. Pitravaki Paripalanam is something that Rama does. So Pita should not have given this boon, right? Why did Pita give the boon? Shatrughna's why? Because Shatrughna cannot bear his brother's sorrow. So Bharata says, no, in our parampara, the Raghuvamsha, once a word is given, even to a wife, we don't go back on it. So our king could not have gone back, so don't blame him. Then Shatrughna said, then it is Mata Kaikeyi's fault. Why did she ask this kind of a boon? That is why this whole scenario has happened. He says, that was because of her affection to me. So let's not blame Amma. Now he says, in that case, I think it is Kuni's mistake, So Manthara has actually spoiled the mind, and that is why all this has happened. He says, she has her love to Kaikeyi. She was thinking for the good of Kaikeyi and me, that's why all this. So don't blame her. So whoever's name was popped up by Shatrughna, Bharata was like, no, they are not to be blamed, they are not to be blamed. He was protecting everybody. So finally Shatrughna is like, whose fault is it? If nobody is at fault, why did all this happen? Bharata says, it is all my fault. Now Shatrughna is shocked. He said, you were along with me in our uncle's place, we are just coming into the kingdom. How would you say it's your fault? You were not even aware of the situation. Bharata says, if only I had not been born. Kaikeyi Amma would not have asked for a boon for me to be coronated. None of this scenario would have happened. So my birth is the whole problem. Naneran Aiduga says Andal in Tiruppavi, right? So when two Bhagavatas are fighting, Goda takes the blame on herself. Naneran Aiduga, it's all my fault. So let there be no difference of opinion between Bhagavatas. That is the mindset. That is taught in this Gajendra Moksham. Where Indradyumna, whether it is his fault or not, his Acharya has told something. He just accepted it. So that is the lesson we have to learn from it, and not whether Agastya was right or not. So at this point, Agastya leaves Shapa, because of which this great king now turns into an elephant. Because of his valor, his prowess, his devotion, even among the elephants, he is the king. So Gajendra is also Mrigendra. All the animals are now led by Gajendra. Usually we don't call an elephant as the king of the forest. But in Gajendra's case, he was the king of the forest. Everybody followed wherever he went. So he was ruling. His devotion was always there to Bhagavan. Because of so much of tapasya, so much of austerity, that mindset was always there in him. So he used to perform a lot of puja to Bhagavan even at that point of time. So all the elephants were thirsty after a long walk in dry area one day, that they are looking forward to where they can find water. Okay. There is a parvata called Trikuta Parvata. Let's do a visualization of this parvata, because this is explained very elaborately in Bhagavata Purana, Ashtama Skanda. The entire place is filled with greeneries. It has mountains, which is called Trikuta. The mountain itself is made of gold and silver and bronze, it seems. Lot of precious jewelry are there. In the valley, beautiful water surfaces are there with fragrant flowers. A lot of great munis and rishis come there. They sit in the caves to do their tapasya. So the ambience is filled with devotion. Apsaras trees come there because of the unique beauty of that location. So that place is supposed to be filled with divinity, filled with beauty, filled with nature's auspicious resources. The valley itself was owned by Varuna. So there was no limitation for the water and other availability of natural resources. So such a beautiful place. The event happens there. So the elephants are searching for water. They find water because of the fragrance of the lotuses. They go to the right place. Now this is on one side. The second side, what happens is, there was a Maharishi who was doing his rituals in the water. All the Sandhya Vandana Ityadi karmas are usually done on the river side, right? So at that point of time, a Gandharva means people who are musicians in the upper worlds. So they do the alabs, they sing very well. Gandharva Dhanam, we all used to say that, right? So this person is very good in doing alabs using hoo. There is Oho Gandharva, Uhu Gandharva, a lot of things like that is mentioned. So he belongs to the category of Uhu Gandharva. So this Uhu Gandharva was playing with the Apsaras tree in the river banks. So thinking that it was the lady who was chanting there, what he did was he pulled the leg. But it was this Maharishi who was actually offering his obeisances to sun god, doing his rituals. When he was pulled into the water, he is shocked. He is doing his pujas, he is offering, somebody is pulling down. So without even thinking for a second, he just curses the person who has pulled me into the water. This is the attitude of a crocodile. Only the crocodile hides itself and pulls somebody inside, right? So let this person become a crocodile, was the curse given by the Maharishi. So this Gandharva now turns into a crocodile. Okay? So that is the background story, the Uhu Gandharva becoming a crocodile. So he is asking for Shapa Vimochanam. Now the Maharishi says, now you have created a mistake with the Bhagavata. When I was doing the ritual, you created this mistake. So hold on to the feet of a Bhagavata and you will be rescued by Bhagavan's Chakrayuda. So that was the Shapa Vimochanam given by the Maharishi. So now this Uhu Gandharva is waiting for the right time. When will a Bhagavata come to the place where I am? When will Bhagavan use his Chakrayudam on me so that I can get back to my Gandharva status? So he is waiting for that. Now our Gajendra, after being cursed by Agastya Maharishi understands the situation. I was telling you, right? Sadhavo Dina Vatsalaha. They are like filled with so much of karuna in their heart. So Agastya Maharishi says that, okay, I will tell you that if Bhagavan comes and relieves you with the help of his Chakrayuda, you will be able to get your salvation. So he also gives a Sapa Vimochanam option for our Gajendra. So Bhagavan now has to come, because Agastya Maharishi is mentioned. Bhagavan does not have an option when sadhus say such words. So though Agastya Maharishi's curse appeared as a curse, it's actually a blessing even for Indradyumna. Because if he's been doing Bhakti Yogam, will he get to Sri Vaikuntham in this birth or next birth or the birth after that? Nobody knows. How long will the process take? Nobody knows. Will there be any issues in between? Nobody knows. But now, because Agastya Maharishi said Bhagavan will come and he will give you Shapa Vimochanam and he will guide you to Moksha. Bhagavan will come, everything will happen, So he is now waiting for that. At this right point, we call it Daiva Sankalpam. What happens? The thirsty Gajendra, along with all the other elephants, is now approaching the same pond in which the Uhu Gandharvan as a crocodile is there. Now, everybody has water. They are so excited. The elephants, when they go into water, they have a lot of fun, right? They jump into the water, splash water on each other, play. So the water is crystal clear, beautiful. So they all are having a lot of fun. In the process, many of these small insects, animals and water beings are chapped by the feet of these huge elephants. The crocodile gets upset because crocodile is in charge of the pond. So it's like all my beings are get hurt here. What am I going to do? And he goes there, he looks at Gajendra, he holds on to the feet of Gajendra. Deva Sankalpa. Now, what is the situation? The crocodile is holding the feet. Crocodile's stronghold is inside the pond. Elephant's stronghold is on the land. So the elephant is now trying to move to the land. The crocodile is attempting to pull it inside the water. So pulling it inside, this is moving out. Pulling it inside, this is moving out. This process was happening because Gajendra was thinking, I am Gajendra, I am Mrigendra, I have all the strength. I can take care of myself and of all the other animals. What can this little crocodile do to me? The crocodile was thinking, I am never going to let go of your feet. Because your feet is my only destination, my only salvation. It is holding on to it tight. This process of I am powerful, I will help myself, made Gajendra fight for 500 years. Not a day or two, 500 long years. Ahankara was his enemy, which did not allow him to succumb to reality. After that he thought, maybe because of fighting for such a long time, I am a little tired. So he called all his elephants. One elephant might not have the strength. Now my friends and family, all the elephants will together pull me out. In that way, I'll be able to go out. So all the elephants are now supporting this elephant and trying to pull it out with extra vigor. The Gandharva, he also has a Shakti, right? He is pulling back Gajendra inside. So Mamakara, my people, my family, my friends will support me, was the thought that Gajendra had. He tried to help himself. But then he was pulled back into the water, going out of the water, pulling back into the water. This process was happening for another 500 years. So Ahankara, Mamakara, nothing could help. All the elephants started leaving because they were getting tired in the process, so they started heading back home. Now Gajendra thinks, I was telling you, right, Sadhavu Deenavatsalaha. Because of Agastya Maharishi's Karuna, Indradyumna remembered his past pujas, his past chintana, Bhagavat Seva. Everything comes to his mind at this appropriate time. Oh my God, what have I been doing? I have Ahankara, I have Mamakara. But ultimately, that Bhagavan has to save me. So Indradyumna realizes that he has to surrender to Bhagavan so that Bhagavan will come and help, and only that ultimate Bhagavan is capable of helping him. So when such a thought came to his mind, he wanted to address the ultimate Bhagavan. He sees a beautiful flower in the pond. The flower is golden in color, it's a Tamara Pushpa. So the Padma Pushpa, he plucks it out for his Bhagavan. He is completely in pain. His leg is now, think of it, a crocodile grabs the feet and is fighting for 1,000 years. What will be the status of his health? What will be the kind of pain that he's been having? With that pain, he plucks up this lotus for offering it to Bhagavan. So when he is singing this song, Acharyas say it so beautifully. Now and then he actually dipped that flower into the pond, it seems. So why would he do that? He's plucked the flower for Bhagavan. So as he is reciting the stuti, he dips that flower into the water again. After some time he raises the lotus to offer it to Bhagavan. Why would he do that? Is his tusk a little tired because of which he wants to rest or something? It seems when Bhagavan was coming, he wanted this lotus to be fresh. So he freshened it up by dipping it into the water time again. He was not even thinking of the pain that he was undergoing. He wanted to offer it to Bhagavan. The water which was clear till then now has become like full of chagadi chepadinda tanni because of the stamping and all this fight. The water is now not at all clear. But that lotus was so fragrant and so beautiful to offer to Bhagavan. So he was having this lotus in his hand. He was just dipping it now and then so that the lotus will not get dirty, but it will get the water that was there. So that was the Chintana. Now the Gajendra Stuti in this is very, very auspicious because of the appropriate words that are used by Gajendra. So what are some of the words that he used? Akhila Karanaya. Hey Bhagavan, who is the reason for everything? So the sole reason for everything, I am addressing it to that Bhagavan, says Gajendra. So Akhila Karanaya. Namo Bhagavate. Bhagavate is a beautiful phrase that you use. Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Bhagavan means the one who has 6 auspicious qualities. Usually, one person might have one quality in a small part, may not have other qualities. Another person might have 1 or 2 qualities, he might have some negative qualities also. But Bhagavan is a person whose Shad Guna Paripurnaha, we say. Bhagavan has 6 qualities completely in full. What are the qualities? Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Virya, Shakti, Tejas. So the one who is filled with Jnana, who has all the valor that we can think. Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, prosperous. Shakti, Tejas. All these beautiful qualities are completely there. That person is Bhagavan. So he is saying, hey Bhagavan, who is the Akhila Karanaya. You are the reason for everything. Immediately he says, Nishkaranaya. But you have nobody else as a reason for you. You are independent. There is no one who creates you. You create everything. Akhila Karanaya, Nishkaranaya. So he goes on to speak about Bhagavan, Adbhuta Karanaya. You are, the surprising reason behind everything. So these unique traits cannot be adjectives for anybody else. Such kind of Adi Bijaya, the primordial seed from which everything is sprung up. You are that Adi Bija. So these kind of adjectives are used. In fact, in Bhagavata Purana, it says, when Gajendra started speaking such words, all the Indra, the Devatas, Brahmas, everybody are like, who is he calling? Who is he calling? Who is he calling? Naham, Naham, Chaham. No, it's not for me. It's not for me. Now, in today's scenario, if we have to get a feel of that, all of us receive an email. So many people are CC'd in it. So we read the email. Oh my God, who is it mentioned for? I'm only CC'd. It's not for me, right? So it's just information. It's not targeted to me. So Naham, Naham, Nachaham. It's not for me. It's not for me. So this is happening here in Trikuta Parvata. Gajendra is saying the Gajendra Stuti. Parallelly, let's go to the Srirabdi where Bhagavan and Mata Mahalakshmi are sitting. Okay, so let's move our cameras there. So what is happening? The Chaturanga is there, the chessboard. Mata and Bhagavan, both of them are playing Chaturanga. Typically, Bhagavan is always thinking about his devotees. So he is not giving Mata enough time. So today she's saying, today, the whole day you have to spend with me. Okay, all of us have undergone that situation, right? People at home. At least this holiday time, be at home, be with us. So we all say that, right? Now Mata Mahalakshmi is telling that to Bhagavan. You have to be with me. Bhagavan says, I have so much of work, what can I do and all that. She says, okay, let's have a challenge. In the Chaturanga, in the chess, whoever wins, okay, whatever they say, the other person has to do. Mata Mahalakshmi is very confident that she's always the winner. So she's the smarter of the two. So she says, whoever wins, okay, that person will be dictating, the other person has to obey. So Mata Mahalakshmi won it. So Bhagavan had to listen to what Mata says, even otherwise he does. So what she did is, to her sari, the corner of the sari, she tied his putri, the upavastram of Bhagavan, she tied it. She said, you have to be here with me today. So Bhagavan said, okay, fine, I lost with you in Chaturanga, I will do what you say. So he is there, both of them are playing the next game. So here, our Gajendra is saying, Adi Bijaya, Bhagavate, Namaha, everything. So Bhagavan is now just getting up and he says, Ga! Mata is like, you just now promised that you're not going anywhere. Where are you going? By the time she could ask the question, Bhagavan wanted to say, Gajam Tratum, to protect the elephant. But he says, Ga, he's so fast that Garuda, which is the fastest of all modes of transportation, who's equivalent to the Vedas, that speed is not sufficient for Garuda. So Garuda very quickly gets in its place. Mata Mahalakshmi, her Uttriyam and her sari are tied, right? So she is going along with him. So by the time Gajam, the word is mentioned, Bhagavan is already there in the Trikuta Parvata. So when Gajendra sees, he is with Garuda Vahana, Changachakra Gadadharana, Pithambaradhariya, Kayaroda, along with Mata Mahalakshmi, he is giving the darshan. When all the devas, because everybody were CC'd, right? So Indra, the devatas, everybody have come there, everybody is now reciting the Samagana, Pushpavari is happening, all the Gandharvas are looking at that. So Bhagavan instantly takes his Chakrayuda. And first he actually hits it on the crocodile. Why? Our ancestors tell a beautiful reason for it. Because Gajendra called directly to Bhagavan. But the Gandharva called for Bhagavata. So whoever goes through the Bhagavata gets the first preference. So the Shapa Vimochana for the crocodile was done first. So Shapa Vimochana for the crocodile is done. And then Gajendra is looked at. Now Bhagavan is like filled with so much of love for Gajendra that very, very carefully he takes Gajendra outside the water pond. Some acharyas give this anubhuti. This is not mentioned in Bhagavata Purana, but acharya anubhavas are there. It seems Bhagavan took his upavastram, the upper cloth that he was wearing, and ottadam kudupan soloniya, oof we do and we will patch it. Like that, Bhagavan took the feet of Gajendra. He did a ottadam for the elephant. Now the acharyas are saying, you are Paramatma, Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, Sarvaloka Sharanya. We can even understand that you protected the elephant. One thing is, why should you rush and come? Can't you just say from there, okay, let this elephant be saved? Is that not sufficient? Why did you run so fast, dragging everybody, saying that Garuda's speed is not sufficient? And why will you come, take the feet of an elephant and do Uttadam to it? What is all this? We are not even able to understand or comprehend this quality of you, oh my God. So that is the love that Bhagavan shows, because Bhagavan says, this Gajendra is like me. The pond was so, Chagadiva in the pond. It was not at all clear. It had a lot of dirt in it. It was filled with dirty water. Gajendra looked for something beautiful from that pond. He was ready with this lotus to offer it to me, right? Similarly, in my devotees, their heart might be filled with 100 unwanted thoughts. One thing they think about me. I look for that, I search for that, I grab it. So Gajendra had that quality which I will look forward to, which is like me, says Bhagavan. So Bhagavan protects our Gajendra, and instantly Gajendra's Sapa Vimochana happens. Gajendra changes his form into Indradyumna. Not only that, Bhagavan gives his Swarupam to Indradyumna. So it is mentioned in Bhagavata Purana that just like Bhagavan, Indradyumna now acquired 4 hands. He also had a Pitambara. He started resembling Bhagavan. So he became, like Bhagavan in appearance. Now all the devas, everybody are reciting the Samagana there. At that point, Indradyumna does pradakshana to Bhagavan. He offers his salutations to Bhagavan. He offers his stuti on Bhagavan. So there are a few very interesting learnings that our acharyas mentioned here. Now, Gajendra was caught by a crocodile, right? Our acharyas say Gajendra is like our Jivatma. Gajendra was caught by one crocodile, but we are caught by all the Panchendriyas. All the Indriyas are pulling us in different directions. It is pulling us down deeper and deeper. So the distractions are pulling us everywhere. Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the 2nd chapter says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamam Kamat Krodo Vijayate Krodad Bhavati Samohat Smriti Vibhramaha Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinashaha Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So the initial thing is we get distracted because of all our sense organs. We go everywhere where our sense organs take us. Finally, one leads to the other. Subsequently, a person even perishes. That is the situation that happens. So Gajendra was dragged by one crocodile. He came out of it because of his focus, his dedication, his devotion to Bhagavan. Now we are pulled by so many indriyas. We need that focus, we need that dedication. We have to offer ourselves to Bhagavan. If we do that, then Bhagavan will come, he will give himself to us. He will give his swarupam to us. He will take the right things which are required from us. So that is a very, very important concept. One other thing which is mentioned here is, usually we see our acharyas using the chin mudra when they do the upadesham, right? So the thumb is the representative of Paramatma. The index finger is the representative of Jivatma. Usually, irrespective of how much you extend your thumb, you can never touch the index finger unless the index finger also bends. You can try to lift your thumb, try to touch your index finger. Unless you bend the index finger, there is no way the thumb and index finger will touch each other, right? So Gajendra Moksha tells this. Bhagavan is always there for us. He is there to help us. But unless the Jivatma surrenders to Bhagavan, this is not going to happen. So the Jivatma and Paramatma together is the Mokshanandam, right? Where the Jivatma serves Bhagavan eternally. That can happen only if the Jivatma surrenders to Bhagavan. That is also explained in the Gajendra Moksha Charitram. So, usually, many different events that happen, which are mentioned in our granthas, have palastuti at the end of the explanation, end of the Charitram. This particular Gajendra Moksha has two beautiful palastutis. One is told by Sukabrahma Rishi. Usually whoever authors it will give the palastuti. So Sukabrahma Rishi says, the one who listens to this, Duswapna Nashanam Bhavati Tasya, they will not have negative dreams. All the fearful dreams can be wiped out if we listen to the Gajendra Moksha Charitra. The second thing he says is, all the negative effects of Kali Yuga will not touch that person. So if we listen, read this with Bhakti Shraddha, that Bhagavan came and held an elephant, suffering elephant, his Kali Yuga influences will be negated. That is also something that Sukabrahma Rishi says. Third and very important thing is, not just negating, spiritual elevation will also happen to the person who reads this Charitra. So three beautiful things are mentioned by Sukabrahma Rishi. Now Bhagavan comes. Bhagavan is so touched by this Indradyumna, Gajendra. In spite of bearing so much of pain, he offered the flower to Bhagavan. So he says, you have been so selfless. You did not even argue with your Guru when he cursed you. You took everything in your stride and you became an elephant. You performed your devotion even when you were an elephant. Now you have got rid of your ahankara and mamakara, right? So people who listen to this beautiful charitra of Gajendra Moksha, Bhagavan says, they have to remember it in entirety. Starting from the beautiful Trikuta Parvata. That's why I said let's visualize that. So Trikuta Parvata, the place where this happened, the beautiful valley, the fragrant flowers, the munis who are doing their tapasya there, the apsaras, the gandharvas, the fragrance, the environment, our Gajendra, this crocodile, their backgrounds, how they got Shapa Vimochana. Bhagavan who came as Garuda Vahana, Chanka Chakra Gadadhara, along with Mata Mahalakshmi, all the Indra, Rudra, other Devatas, everybody are there, appreciating and enjoying this beautiful event that was happening. The person who visualizes this first thing in the morning, to them, all their sins will be wiped out, says Bhagavan. And I will help them to reach moksha itself. I will help them reach Vaikuntha itself, says Bhagavan. So usually, a charitra is called as punyam. when you listen to a Charitra, that gives us a lot of punya. There is something called Mahat Punya, which means lots of punya you will accrue if you listen to one Charitra. Multiple times the punya you will accrue. There is also something called Sumahat Punya. Sumahat Punya is the superlative degree of Mahat Punya. So much of punya will be accrued if we listen to this Satcharitra of Gajendra Moksham. That is what is mentioned. In fact, Bhagavan says, in addition to this beautiful Charitra, if people remember my devotees, Prahlada, Narada Adi, all the rishis, if they remember my devotees, if they remember my avataras, the auspicious avataras that Bhagavan takes, right? Rama, Krishna, Narasimha, Ityadi, several different avataras. So when they recollect all these avataras, that will give them all the auspiciousness. So Bhagavan then blows his Chantanathan, he goes to the Sri Vaikuntham, and Indradyumna is also given a Sadgati. This is a very, very auspicious story which teaches us a lot of beautiful anubhavas. So, especially this is also taken in the Narayaniyam, which is a summary of this beautiful Bhagavata Puranam, where the bhava of this Gajendra Moksham is explained very beautifully. Now, I was asking a question prior to this, right? Why did Bhagavan have to come directly? He could have just sat there and, as a sankalpa, he would have said, let the good things happen to Gajendra. That is sufficient. Why did he have to come? Because when Bhagavan comes there, otherwise we'll say, it just happened. After 1,000 years, it just happened, we will say, right? But in this case, what happened is, Pratyaksha, our Gajendra is seeing Bhagavan coming. He's so happy. For my sake, Bhagavan has come along with Mata Mahalakshmi all the way. The instance I called him, he's here already. That kind of a feel gives so much of happiness to the devotee, right? For my sake, Bhagavan has come. So, to give that happiness, seeing Gajendra happy, Bhagavan feels happy. So, for that, he came, is what is mentioned in Narayaniya. So, many such bhavatmaka vishyas are there in Gajendra Moksha. So, this is the Charitra, which gives us Sumahat Punya. So, every day morning, we are expected to recollect the beautiful environment in which this happened. And while we are still closing our eyes, we are just about to open our eyes. We can recite Harir Harihi, Harir Harihi, Harir Harihi, Harihi. 7 times we repeat the word Hari. Why should we repeat the word Hari? Because this avatara, where Bhagavan came so fast, that is called as Hari Avatara. That is the term which Bhagavan was given, this Nama was given to Bhagavan during this avatara. So we will remember this entire episode and we will recite Harinama 7 times in the morning to start the day. Now what will happen when we recite? It is mentioned, Harit Harati Papani. All our papas are snatched away by Hari itself. Harit Harati Papani. So we've done many sins, people. So what happens? The next day, we start with Hari, 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 Hari. The previous day's sins is bad deeds written off. We start the day fresh. So that negative is gone. So we can start something new. So every day, all our papas are wiped off. Harit Harati Papani, so that we can start the day fresh. So that is why our acharyas, our elders say that start the day with Harinama Sankirtana. So when you start the day with Hari, the name itself is fresh. It is beautiful. It helps us to kickstart the day with a lot of positivity. So that is the reason we recite this. So this explanation of Gajendra Moksha is done in the Ashtama Skanda, the 8th Skanda of Bhagavata Purana, which is like multiple chapters, so it is a little difficult for us to recite. But the summary of that, Samshepa Rupena, is mentioned in the 2nd chapter, in the 2nd Skanda of Bhagavata Purana. So I have shared 2 slokas from that Skanda. So we will attempt to recite that now, the 2 slokas from that. So which is the Samshepa Gajendra Moksha.
WhatsApp in the Bhakti group, you can have a look.
Yeah, you can open that sloka. All of you have it?
Yeah.
Antasarasyu Rubalena Antasarasyu Rubalena Pade Grihito Grahena Yutapati Rambujahasta Artaha Ahedamadi Purusha Kila Lokanatha Ahedamadi Purusha Kila Lokanatha Tirtha Shrava Shravana Mangala Namatheya. We'll do it once more. Antasarasyu Rubalena Pade Grihito Grahena Yutapatiram Bujahasta Artaha Ahedamadi Purusha Khila Lokanatha Tirtha Shrava Shravana Mangala Namadeya. The next sloka. Shrutva Harismarana Atinamaprameya Chakrayudaspatagaraja Bujadhirudaha Chakrena Nakravadanam Vanipatya Tasmat Haste Pragruhya Bhagavan Kripayo Jahara Shrutva Haristamaranatina Maprameya Chakrayuda Patagaraja Bujadhirudaha Chakrena Nakravadanam Vinipatya Tasmat Haste Pragruhya Bhagavan Kripayo Jahara Shri Gajendra Varadaya Namaha.
Gajendra Varadaya Namaha.